Well, hello and welcome again to the Game Dev London podcast. I'm your host today. My name is Lorraine Ansell, and you can refer to me as she, her. And today I'm going to be talking with Nele Steenput. So, hello. And we're going to be talking
Hello.
about art, inspirations, and how to get started in character art for games. So, hello, welcome to the podcast, Nele. Tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Nele. I am currently employed at a studio called Cooperative Innovations, where we work on VR games, and they're based in Yorkshire. So I am the character artist, but they also call me the head of art because I do stuff like leading the art team, as well as doing some art directing for the games.
Oh, that sounds very good. Sounds very important. Sounds very, very important. So, how did you end up there and directing art?
I was looking for a in-house studio job because before that I was mostly freelancing. And so Simon, who is one of the CEOs of Cooperative Innovations, he got in touch with me because he was looking for more experienced artists to be, like leading the art team at the studio. And so part of that would then be managing the people, but also doing character art. So it would be like a split between the two. But then in general, like it became apparent that there wasn't any art direction yet for the game that we were working on. So I kind of, because someone had to do it, right? So I started doing that, and so that's how I ended up doing all those things.
Oh, wow. And you mentioned that you had freelance before. What sort of games have you worked on in your freelance time?
So mostly indie games, puzzle narrative games such as the Bradwell Conspiracy, which was published by Boston Studios and made by Brave Plan. And then the other one that is like notable was Tin Hearts, which is made by a company called Roxanne, who are based in Guildford. So you might know them, Lorraine. So those are two most notable games, yeah, that I've worked on. So, but then after that, I just did some freelance work here and there, like some jobs in between, and then I found the job with Cooperative Innovations.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I do really like the Bradwell Conspiracy. It's fantastic. I really like the cat statue. I'm not giving anything away by that, but also the view outside of, the Stonehenge setup. Very
Yeah,
nice. Very, very lovely
I
game. So
know.
it's,
It
yeah.
was like because I started working on it from the beginning, and so I was there for like the slow build up of like how the whole game kind of came together, and so we were like a long time working on that, like the whole museum part, and then the Stonehenge outside, the windows obviously. But yeah, it was it was really cool to see it all coming together, and then obviously in the end there's like some last passes to it, and at that point I'd already left to go work on the other game. And then the end result was just beautiful, like the whole because I had to do a lot of like level dressing as well for like the lobby area and then the office areas afterwards. But then to just kind of like play through it, and then with the final lighting, the puzzles, play through the puzzle and stuff, it was just great.
Oh, wow. Do you know what? How long was it from start to finish, or even concept to launch of that game? Like, just so that
God.
people can understand like the whole process of this, because this is an indie game at the start, wasn't it? It was, you hadn't had a publisher. It was still very much work in
It
progress.
was it was we so at first it was Mastertronic, but then they closed up shop, and they were so kind to get us on board to help us get Boston Studios on board with the game. So it was already being published at that time, like from the start. Um, but yeah, so from the beginning, I think so. I was on it for about 2 years, I think, and then it was still in production for I don't know, another 2 years, I feel. I'm not gonna put like a number on it
Wow.
because it was something like that, like 3 4 years.
Wow.
Like I think like Holly and George who've been working on it. I think that the only two people who worked on it from the start to the end will have like a more accurate number, obviously. But yeah, like it was definitely a few years, and it's just because it was we were never like a big team. It was always just a few people with each their specialities, and um, that's why I ended up doing level dressing in the end as well. So
Ah, okay.
I was a 3D artist at first, but obviously then I had to help out with other bits. It was pretty cool because I got to see the entire process up close, like get involved a bit with the narrative, and like I got to sit in with like the level design meetings as well, and like why puzzles worked and why they didn't, and it was really interesting to hear and to kind of like um, have that up like even though I wasn't involved like 100%, it was still very interesting to have that. What's the word? Uh, like to see all that up close, like happening, and then and the whys and the hows of all that. So yeah, it was really really cool because then I got to do the level dressing, and so I knew already of like what was interesting or how each level was interesting in its own way. Um, and yeah, like and how I had to tailor that the level dressing to that. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
So has that sort of influenced you now in your current role, the level dressing, because that is quite an interesting part to be involved in, because not a lot of artists actually see that if that's not their main role.
Definitely. It's not just level dressing. It's also just like the so Holly, who was the art director, like the decisions that she made, we had to follow those up close as well, and obviously because I had to make the props and then the character as well. And like the critique, because Bossa gave us critique as well from their point of view, and they helped us out with that, which was really useful. And so we got to see all that too, and I learned a lot about like the other disciplines, but also just in general, like what makes the levels stand out. Like for example, the thing that I learned that a trick that we use is like all the different levels in the game. They have like their own color scheme to set the moods.
Mm.
For like the like for example the lobby. No, sorry, not the lobby. The what was it like a main area for the employees was quite warm because there was like a birthday
Ah.
party going on and stuff. So it was all like very warm, uh, like soft colors. Whereas the medical area was more like these cool colors, and like the design of it like had a big influence too. Like you have like the calm water spaces, and so it was all very much like thought through, and that is something like doing then art directing and like how to set up an art bible and all that in for cooperative innovation with the games that we make there, like is something that I took away from like my experience from working on Bradwell Conspiracy and then Tin Hearts and stuff. So yeah, definitely.
Ah. And what are you working on right at the moment? Can you say?
At the moment, we are having doing a few um, like different bits, but the one that we have in like production apart from so we made Spaceteam VR last year, like that got released last year, which is like this really cool cooperative multiplayer game for like the whole family in VR. So there's still support on that. So like releasing new costumes or accessories and all that, which is what I'm doing now. Or we have another one in development, which was it's called Curators, which is an app where you for like different museums that got scanned, like because there's like a few of them, and they are. So I had to make the tour guide and like the visitor avatars. So because you can see people walking around the museum and you can visit them like all the exhibitions up close, and So there's also no need for like like what do you call them, like the fences and stuff that they put around, like statues or I don't know, paintings and stuff to keep them safe. So there's no need because you can actually like get up close and like look at it from every angle and stuff. And yeah, there's like a tour guide like explaining things to you and all that, which is just someone
Oh,
else.
wow.
So it's just like someone logging into as a tour guide who guides you around the whole museum, and then you just go and visit, you know. So
That's
that's
amazing
pretty
because
cool.
that is really cool. I really miss going to museum. I do love a museum, I have
I
to
know,
say. Like
right?
The Tate Modern, oh, I'd love to go and see that again. I haven't been in so long. And what I find
um,
that's really interesting because you're not allowed to touch anything in a museum. And this is like
exactly.
my
Yeah.
inner child is like, oh, what
Yeah.
in this game I can touch things. Oh, this will be fun. This will be really good. That's really
So,
exciting.
but besides that, we still have like other things going on, but I can't talk about
Oh,
that. So
oh,
yeah.
that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Mm.
So, with the Space VR game, you've mentioned a few characters. What was your inspiration, and like, how did you research, costumes and outfits and things
Yeah.
that they should wear in the environment they're in?